let us bow our heads and put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering all of us today. We thank you for the gift of life and strength that you have provided us all to be part of this endeavor. We seek your forgiveness for our wrongdoings, as we have forgiven those who have done us wrong. May you bestow your guidance and blessings so that we can enjoy and appreciate its significance in our lives. Bless everyone who is present here today. May each one of us be able to share our knowledge, understanding, and wisdom for your glory and honor. May the various activities related to this event be a success through your intervention. All these we ask through your name. Amen.
Okay, there you go. Once again, good morning to all of us here in our virtual conference for the orientation of the members of the School Screening Committee of DepEd Bohol Recruitment and Selection Guidelines for Teacher 1 position for the school year 2025 to 2026. This is Dorothy, your virtual host for today, accompanying you until the end of this virtual orientation period. It is with great honor and respect that I acknowledge our dynamic Bohol Schools Division top management, led by our OIC School Division Superintendent, Dr. Faye C. Luares, and our vibrant OIC Assistant School Division Superintendent, Dr. Eduardo A. Umpad, and our CID Chief, Dr. Carmela Ristificar, OIC ISGOD Chief, Dr. Wilfreda Flor, and most especially to our dear members of the School Screening Committee, the school head, ICT coordinator, and our teachers. May I also have the honor to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed members of the SDO Personnel Selection Board who have been with us in every recruitment and selection process. I extend my appreciation to our Administrative Officer 5 in Admin Section, Mr. Fermin Albutra, Education Specialist, Program Specialist 2, and our concurrent HR Officer, Mrs. Jodette S. Apali, SDO HR staff, Division IT Officer, HR MPSB, and to my colleagues in the HR MPSB Secretariat. So it's another round of one of our ministerial tasks for the school year 2025 to 2026. So last January 27, we have conducted an orientation of our dear applicants regarding our recruiting and hiring process. So it highlights specific details in conducting the screening phases, such as procedures for admitting and confirming applications through the applicant code. And for sure, the same points will be revisited with you. So are there members of the school screening committee to ensure everyone's awareness. So thank you so much to all of you for sharing your time and effort and for gracing this orientation with your willingness and readiness to assume this crucial role in the annual practice of the recruitment and selection process of our teaching applicants. This time, I sense everyone is eager to learn about updates regarding the conduct of this recruitment process. Let's get started and dive right in. So without further ado, let's hear a warm welcome from one of the member of the HR MPSB, our Administrative Officer 5, Mr. Fermin Albutra.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Dorothy. I due respect to our top management, led by our OIC Superintendent, Dr. Faye C. Luares, with our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Eduardo A. Umpad, at the same time, HRMPSB Chairman, all members of the division and school, its RMPSB committees, and all the secretariat, both division office and the schools or district level. Good morning, everyone. The main purpose of this activity is to orient or reorient the school's subcommittee for the ranking of our teaching positions. And their crucial rules is additional duties and responsibilities and accountabilities in the realization of the comparative assessment of aspiring teachers applicant for school year 25-2026. And this is our contextualized conduct of our recruitment and selection process, in which your role is very vital to establish transparency and concrete source of data through your judicious assessment of documents and fair giving of points to our teacher applicants, particularly to the documents' originality, authenticity, and veracity. The documents submitted to our aspirant applicants, and for the four basic non-negotiable qualification standards such as education, eligibility, training, and experience. So all of you who are choosing few to be part of this recruitment process for our RQA for teacher applicants for school year 2025-2026. Welcome you all to this virtual orientation. Good luck and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Sir Fermin, for the warm and gracious welcome. Now, let us proceed to the statement of purpose from the chairman of the SDO Bohol HRMPSB, Dr. Eduardo A. Umpad, to shed light on the significance and objectives of today's event.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. I'd like to extend my morning greetings to all the participants who are joining us this morning. Thank you very much for your participation. I know that you are very busy like us. No? You are very busy because of the many things that you need to attend to as teacher, as district supervisor, as well as school principals in your respective stations. Well, as I was saying, I'm happy that you are here in order to attend this orientation because being members of the school selection committee, your role is very important and very significant, no? In terms of making sure that you will be able to have a deeper understanding about the the guidelines that we are utilizing in order to objectively assess the documents submitted by our teacher applicants. So with that, it is important, no, that you have to actively engage yourself in this particular orientation so that in a way you will be refreshed, no, about the guidelines that we are currently using. I understand that this is not the first time that you are a member, no, of the uh, school selection committee, but I think that this is not something that you do every day. You know? That is why it is important that every time that we will be calling, no, for uh, uh, for teacher applications, it is important that you need also to refresh your understanding about this because it's only in this manner wherein you will be able to articulate also and be able to have a common understanding, you know, about the criteria that we are utilizing because in the course of the process I'm sure that there will be a lot of questions or queries perhaps that will be asked by our teacher, and it is important that you will be able to articulate, no, the criteria so that in a way they would also be able to have an understanding of how they are assessed and how are we objectively giving points to the objectives, to the documents that they have submitted. As I was saying, it is important that we need to objectively uh, give the points according to the documents that they have submitted. But you have also to make sure, no, that they be able to understand about this criteria so that we will be able to proceed our process smoothly. No? Because our problem is we would not be able to complete, no, the the rank list of the teacher applicants if there will be a lot of queries, no, coming from the teacher, if they have basically having a lot of questions regarding the points that they have earned. So with that, it's important that at your level, no, being the school screening committee, members of the school screening committee and district screening committee, I understand. It is imperative that at your level you must also be able to basically inform them about our criteria, that they be able to understand how they are rated, so that in a way they would not be asking too many questions about the result of the comparative assessment. So with that, then I am hoping that we will be able to make sure that the kind of process that we are conducting is transparent, and we also make them understand that we give equal opportunity to all applicants. That is why it is important that at your level you will be able to help our department select the right person for the right kind of job, and that particular mandate could only be realized if at your level you will make sure that the transparency of the process is actually observed. What I'm saying is, when we speak of transparency, it is to say that it should be open to all. But that does not necessarily follow that other applicants will be evaluating other applicants' documents, but the applicant herself or himself must be able to know why he is or she is only getting this particular or earning this particular points considering the criteria that we are utilizing. And lastly, it is also important that our applicants must be made to understand that they are we are open, no, to question or something. If there are things that they would need to clarify, they are open, no? And we will be accepting queries from them so that in a way we will be able to review, no, the points that they have earned, if particularly if they have concerned about it. But let them know that there are other items in the criteria, such as the demonstration teaching as well as the teacher reflection, wherein they would not be able to inquire or something like complain about the points that they have earned, because it is something that is given by the committee collectively, meaning to say it is uh, these particular points that they will be earning is uh, a collegial decision of the committee. That is why these are some of the things that you need to let our applicants know and realize, so that in a way they will not be asking questions on those. But as I was saying, it is important also that applicants should be rated as much as possible objectively according to the performance that they have in this particular criteria, because this criteria is a little bit more subjective. I want you to make use of the rubrics that are presented in the guidelines, so that in a way we will be able to listen sa gitawag nato og subjectivity, no, in that particular aspect. So with that, then I am hoping that we will be able to fast track the process, because our experience last year, we were not able to submit that on time. Our attention was already called by the regional office because we were not able to complete it according to the deadline that they have set. the chairman of the committee, and of course, no, with the uh, with the effort no, of all the members of the committee, the HR office, and the HRMPSB is trying no, to make a call this particular school year early so that we will be able to complete it as required no, by the regional office. So with that then, manghinaot ko nga no, madali ang process so that we will not be called again no, by the regional office regarding the submission of the CAR RQA. No. So with that, I am hoping that you are going to actively engage in this orientation. If there are things that you might be in doubt of, I'd like you to ask questions so that in a way you will have a better understanding and so that we will be having, not only better understanding of yourself, but a common understanding about the criteria. And finally, I would like to tell you that it is also very important that you yourself, you are going to review and reread the criteria because some points in this particular orientation may not be discussed properly. That is why it is also important that you are going to read it yourself and do not hesitate to ask questions because if you are in doubt about it, we still have time to inquire, no? Or perhaps raise your concerns sa atong HRMPSB so that you will be able to understand the criteria comprehensively. Sa akong gigayon ninyo, kinahanglang common no, o uniform ang atong understanding as well as implementation of the criteria aron walay ano, aron ma sana matuman nato no ang gitawag nato objectivity sa paghatag og points. Thank you very much and good morning to all.
Thank you, Sir Ed, for clearly outlining the purpose and significance of today's event. Everyone, naatay attendance na agi-send sa GC or sa chat box, mamalihog ko og fill out. And now, to present the rationale behind the recruitment activities, the basic qualification standards for teaching positions, and the special cases that guide us in this essential task, let's hear from Mrs. Judith S. Apali, Education Program Specialist 2, and our concurrent HR Officer of DepEd Division of Bohol Personnel Section. Take it away, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dorothy. A pleasant morning to each and everyone. My respect to our officer in charge of Office of the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Faisal Juarez. Of course, partner with our HRMPSB Chairman, our ESDS, Dr. Eduardo Ampad, our SGUD Chief, Dr. Wilfreda Oflor, our CID Chief, Dr. Cabela Restepicar, together with all our education program supervisors, PSDSS, acting PSDSS, our administrative officer 5, Sir Fermin Albotra, our school heads of all 1,142 schools, our technical working group, and we have Sir Inad or Dr. Fernando Inad, our our expert on the platform, ICT platforms of DepEd Division of Bohol, to all our participants for today's online orientation of school screening committee for the recruitment selection for the teacher 1 position. Maadjong buntag natong tanan. Once again, we are here for this online orientation. I know this is not new for all of us because we had the same orientation again and again. So we started this guidelines school year 2023-2024 up to present. Ang uban siguro moingon nga balik-balik na mao nga o lagi nga atong balikon aron mahanas ta kay bisan balik-balik nag-discuss nagyapoy masayop pagkwinta as to the criteria on the hiring of teacher 1 position. Unsaon human as we are, we commit human error. Again, the Department of Education issues and enclose guidelines on the recruitment and selection process which upholds the principle of merit, fitness, competence, and equal opportunity. Also with transparency and accountability. So pursuant to the DepEd new merit and selection plan. So these activities enable all members of the school screening committee to fully understand the hiring and promotion guidelines as stipulated in the agency's new merit selection plan found in DepEd Order number 19 series of 2022 and the guidelines on the recruitment, selection, appointment in the Department of Education that is stipulated in DepEd Order number 7, Series 2023 under the position of Teacher 1. So we have the qualification standard for Teacher 1. I know nga kabalo na mo sa atong QS with regards to the Teacher 1 position. So let us also be reminded for the 4 special programs under this Teaching 1 hiring position. We have the Purpose program and we have the SPAMS or the Sapinas Ikaw ang Mama at Sir program. And also the third, we have the DST Scholar under RA 7687 to be accommodated as Teacher 1 in junior high school. And the last, the fourth, we have the DOST Scholar graduate under RA 10612 to be accommodated as Special Science Teacher 1 in senior high school. So the issuance of these guidelines, those DepEd Order number 19 and DepEd Order number 7, this is necessary to ensure the placement of the right people for the right job and at the right place. We have limited time, so please pay attention to every details that will be shared to us from our ICT platform guru and our SDO RMS program developer, Dr. Fernando Inay. I hope that everyone will gain more knowledge for us to be able to respond to any challenges and opportunities in the recruitment and selection process. Daghan gyud ang mo query with regards sa during sa posting sa atong comparative assessment result. I am confident that after this orientation, we will have a systematic and competency-based recruitment and selection process. So to all our school screening committee, the school ICT and the district ICT, to all of us. Thank you for joining us this morning and have a wonderful day ahead. Daghan kayong salamat.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Odette, for enlightening us on the crucial legal foundations that govern our dedicated responsibilities. Without further delay, let's delve straight into the heart of our discussion, the orientation proper, to guide us through the details of the legal basis, documentary requirements, criteria and point system, application, and submission procedures. Allow me to introduce one of the distinguished educators in DepEd Bohol. He is an affiliate member of professionals in various international research centers, a scientific committee member of the organization Psychology and Education, a multidisciplinary journal, a master teacher too of San Agustin National High School in Sagbayan, Bohol, and the head of the DepEd Bohol ICT platform and the developer of the recruitment management system. It is always a pleasure to welcome Dr. Fernando B. Inat.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Dorothy, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone, especially to the dignitaries that we have in this meeting or room. Dr. Ambad, Sir Fermin, Judith, good morning. And to all our participants, also good morning. Let me just share my screen for me to get started. All right, so my task this morning is to actually cover the process flow as well as facilitate the open forum for whatever questions you may have relative to the recruitment and selection guidelines of DepEd Bohol for school year 2025-2026. I know that you already have a lot of questions in mind that you would like to ask. So as of the moment, please just go ahead and write those questions down and keep the note so that during the open forum, you will be able to raise these questions. All throughout my session, your microphones will be muted for us to be able to cover everything. And then during the open forum, we'll be asking some participants to raise their hand for them to be acknowledged, and they will be allowed to unmute their phones to ask questions. And later on, you could also make use of the chat panel for you to be able to raise questions if you're not confident showing up on the camera. I would like to highlight though, however, that for the questions, these should be questions that are relevant only to the recruitment and selection, not placement. So I hope there will be no questions relative to hiring, all right? Because we're not on the on that phase yet. We'll only be focusing on the recruitment and selection. So without much ado, let's get started. So let me just go ahead and share the outline of my presentation. I'll be talking about the SSC composition, providing a rationale about it and other notes. We'll be focusing also on the legal basis. We'll also be talking about the process flow steps. And I also have prepared important notes that everyone can take note of. And obviously, we'll also have the workshop for us to be able to assess ourselves whether or not we have familiarized the process, particularly on the recruitment as well as the phase one of the selection process. Because for the selection process, we have phase one and phase two. Phase one is done in school, phase two is done in the district. And then after we've covered the first 5 bullet points, we'll go ahead and proceed with the open forum. So that's going to be the time that you will be allowed to raise your hand so we can unmute your microphone and then you can start asking questions. All right. So to start with, for the SSC composition, so last year, the initial plan was to have this composition as well. However, because nahitabo siya wherein katong uninterrupted no vacation for teachers and part of the SSC are teachers. This is the reason why what happened is that the school is only a kind of report wherein applicants will submit the application, and then the assessment, the phase one and phase two were done in the district. However, considering that we are starting the process as early as February, this is the reason why we are tapping already the assistance of the school level to be part of the first phase, to be manned by the members of SSC, or the School Screening Committee. All right, so the school screening committee is composed of the chairperson by the school head, and part of the secretariat would be the ICT coordinator, because she will be the ones to do the tagging, the taking in, so on and so forth. And of course, members of the committee, preferably MTs, but if none, okay ra kayo nga teachers. Now, there's a note here. For schools with many applicants, they may form multiple three-member groups to speed up the process. So say, for example, you have about 300. So the one week allocation may not be enough to do the validation. And that's the reason why the school head, based on the need, can go ahead and form multiple three-member groups to speed up the process. Now, for schools with few personnel, the cluster head may form the committee from two or more schools in the cluster. No, okay, I understand that there are schools with only 30 or with only 4. So, based the school head, it's the prerogative of the school head to go ahead and decide whether or not to probably merge, right, those schools to be able to form the SSC composition. So I hope that we're clear with that. But again, if you have questions relative to it, please jot those down and then we'll answer that during the open forum. Now, let's go ahead and proceed to the legal basis that we're utilizing here. The first one is our Bible. We have been using this since 2023. This is the guidelines on recruitment, selection, appointment in the Department of Education. This is DepEd Order number 7 Series 2023. And for this year's ranking procedure for DepEd Bohol, we have released Division Memorandum 052 Series of 2025. It outlines the process flow that the applicants as well as the members of the school screening committee and district screening committee to follow to be able to finish all the process, and we'll be able to submit the requirements of the Region 7. All right, so let me just go ahead and give you a background of the process flow of this year's ranking process for teacher one applicant. So this is what we have been sharing, right, to our applicants. We have 5 distinct process or steps. First one being is the online application via the RMS portal. So our applicants are already made aware of this. We've had an orientation, that was held the 27th of January, and I have been sharing these process workflow in my wall. I was supposed to share it through the HR Bohol page. However, for some reason it got hacked and I was kicked out as admin. So I'm no longer able to make some posting. All right. So out of the 5 distinct steps, all right, in our ranking process for school year 2025-2026, 2 of these steps are going to be done or complied by the members of the school screening committee, and that is going to be our focus. So we will not be talking about step 4 and step 5. That will be discussed during the orientation as well of the members of the district ranking committee. We're not merging those topics in here kay para dili kaayo siya too much to take in. All right. So again, there are 2 distinct steps that will be carried over in the school level, and it actually started today. Step 2, which is the submission of pertinent documents to preferred school. So basically, what is expected here is that the applicants will already forward or submit to their preferred the folder containing the pertinent documents for the application to the teacher one position. All right. And then step 2, which would happen on the 3rd to the 7th of March this year, will be the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. You might want to ask, why is it face-to-face? We're doing this because DepEd Order number 3 or 7, Series 2023 is so clear that there is an open ranking. And what a better way to do it is to do a face-to-face appreciation so that we will be able to lessen queries from applicants. So meaning on the first phase of the selection already, their questions will already be answered. So we will be able to avoid queries in the future. And that would mean speeding up the process of complying the car RQA requirement of the Region 7 office. All right, so I'll go ahead and cover um, essential steps or essential sub-steps that are part of these two distinct steps. Let me go ahead and start with the submission of pertinent documents. Now, submission of pertinent documents based on Division Memorandum 052 would actually happen between the 5th to the 14th of February. So this is more than a week already. All right. And the applicants were advised to have it in a proper sequence. If we talk about proper sequence, we're talking about the sequence that's found in the Annex A of Division Memorandum 052 or Annex C of DepEd Order number 7, Series 2023 with proper tabbing, all right, and enclosed in a long white folder. So last year, what we actually advised the applicants to do was to submit 2 folders, right? But this year, only one, right? Only one ratong requires sa ilaha because the second one, which would contain the original copies of the pertinent documents, will be brought by the applicant himself or herself during the face-to-face appreciation of documents. Now, the folder cover is pasted with the applicant's details page printed from the RMS. And especially, no, I'd like to highlight, especially for the personnel who will be receiving the applicants or the pertinent documents of our applicants, we need to make sure that the application code that's printed on the sheet, pasted on the folder cover, starts with 2025. All right? Because if it's 2024, that means to say that the applicant did not do the online application or perhaps has selected the incorrect application code. So when you highlight, it should be 2025 because if it's 2024, that means to say it's for the 2024-2025 cycle, which is already done last year. Now, these are the documents that we require for the new applicants in photocopies only. First is accomplished letter of intent. Second is accomplished personal data sheet. And then valid PRC license ID. So if we talk about valid PRC license ID, meaning it's still not expired. Now, however, we understand that the passers of LET in September 2024 were not issued yet of a PRC license ID because they have yet to take their oath on February 17th. So it is only after then that they can apply for initial registration. So what's going to happen is that for the September 2024 passers, we will allow them to submit the report of the letter rating as alternative. But this is a temporary submission because they're expected to be able to provide the valid PRC license ID during their face-to-face appreciation with the members of the school screening committee. So I hope that we're clear with that. If applicants would actually ask you where to get the PRC, I'm sorry, the report of letter rating, I've already talked to the head of PRC Bohol and I was advised that anytime, right, the teachers who are September 2024 passers can already request for a report of rating online. And if they will apply now, they can go ahead and get that tomorrow. So it's just a 24-hour process time. So it should not be a hindrance for applicants to go ahead and get that particular document from PRC. All right, and obviously the report of let rating. All right. And second is the TOR or diploma for graduates. All right. So say for example, graduate of bachelor and graduate of MA. So the diploma for MA would suffice, right? But we also would require them to submit a diploma for the BSED, or the applicant can just go ahead and submit the TOR containing all the obtain units from the bachelor to the master's degree. However, there are schools, especially or applicants that are currently taking MA units right now, and they have not finished it. There are schools which will not issue partial TOR, so we would accept certificate of completed units so that we'll be able to consider these during the appreciation of documents. I just would like to clarify, it's certificate of completed units, not certificate of enrollment, because certificate of enrollment is just a document stating that the applicant is currently enrolled, but it's not a guarantee that it was completed. So it is certificate of completed units. Now, for the certificates of training, it's optional because based on the minimum qualification standards, it's none. However, if they would submit, we only consider trainings from year 2020 onwards. So I hope that we're clear on that matter. And of course, they should be able to submit the accomplished Annex A or C. Again, Annex A is the same as Annex C. Annex A is from Division Memorandum 052 issued by DepEd Bohol, and C is the one issued by through the DepEd Order number 7 series 2023. Now, Annex C and or A, ako na niklaruhon kay, there's a lot of queries. Where can I get the checklist of requirements? Where can I get the omnibus sworn statement? Where can I get the data privacy consent form? Actually, those three items there are found on Annex or C. So if your applicants would probably ask you where to get these items, you can just tell them that it's enclosed or it's part of Annex A, the three items in there. So I'm highlighting here that it should be accomplished, meaning it's filled out and signed. So meaning for the letter of intent, it should be signed by the applicant, accomplished personal data sheet, signed by the applicant for the first 3 pages, and then katong fourth page, signed gihapon niya plus the signature of the officiating official. And then for the Annex A or C, the last portion, it should be signed by the applicant as well as by the officiating official. So again, that's for the pertinent documents for new applicants. They're only gonna submit photocopies only. Now we're gonna go ahead. So this is how it would look like. No, this is especially for the ones receiving the application to go ahead and take a look at this document. This one here is the letter of intent, Candidato Fernando Enad, and this one here on the right is for the PDS. So we need to make sure that these portions are actually signed before we accept them. All right. And then for the Annex A or C, the portion for the applicant is signed by the applicant himself, and the person administering the oath signed by the officiating official, wherein pwede si punong barangay, si municipal mayor, si provincial governor, or the notary public. Now, for the applicants will be doing an update. So these are the mandatory, I'd like to highlight mandatory pertinent documents for update. Now, also in photocopies, first is accomplished letter of intent stipulating that the applicant wants to update criteria, right? And then on top of that will be the training certificates or certificates of training, because non-submission will result to 0 points for training, and it should be from 2020 and onwards only. And most importantly, the applicant should be able to submit the RQA page showing the applicant scores, only accept school year 2023-2024 RQA onwards, so meaning PLC 2024 and 2025. Now, you might want to ask, shall we not allow the RQA prior to 2023-2024? The answer is no, because the new guidelines was issued for school year 2023-2024. So meaning these are the only valid RQAs that we can use. I'm sorry. And lastly, the applicants for update should be able to submit the PDs or pertinent documents to be updated. So say, for example, on the letter of intent, the applicant said that he'd like to apply or to update the experience. So meaning the experience documents should also be attached to the folder that he or she will submit to the school. And again, for the training, our rule here is that it would go back to zero because we have not taken note of those years, no? Na gitake nila ang training. That's the reason why we require them to really submit the training certificates again for them to be able, for us to be able to reassess, right? And exclude those which are prior to 2020. So that's for update. For retain, all right, they would need to submit the accomplished letter of intent, and they would need to submit the certificates of training, even if it's retained, for us to be able to reassess and exclude those training entries, no, that were prior to 2020. And obviously the RQA page showing the applicant's scores, and then we only accept school year 2023-2024 and onwards. So I hope that we were able to get clarification already of the pertinent document requirement for new applicant and mandatory pertinent document for update and retain applicants. All right. So here are important notes that the receiving school personnel must go ahead and take note of. So what's going to happen is that once the applicant submits, then obviously the ones receiving it can go ahead and double check the contents and make sure nga the contents being checked by the applicant on this column, kining status of submission, are actually existing on the submission. All right? Because we will be requiring them to really check this portion, kanang dunay status of submission. So in school, the receiving personnel will go ahead and accomplish the status of submission column. All right. So if it's submitted, that's a check. If it's not submitted, it's going to be an X, so on and so forth. Now, the important column here is the remarks. No, so say for example, the letter of intent has no signature. So those are the possible remarks that the receiving school can go ahead and provide. Right. So say for example, all the submitted documents are in order and are eligible or admissible, then the receiving school personnel can go ahead and stamp the Annex A or C with received, date of receipt, and signature. All right. So that the applicant can go ahead and take a picture of it, no? Take a picture as MOV, right? That the applicant was able to submit the documents already. This is also to safeguard, no, kay in the event nga nawala, at least kanang si participant doon na siya hold that it was already received by the school. All right. Now, I'd like to also highlight this last point that any submissions or document update after 5 p.m. on February 14 and onwards shall no longer be accepted. I'd like to highlight the word shall. So meaning it is imperative. It's not may, it is imperative, no longer be accepted. We need to be strict with our deadlines here. All right, so that was for the submission of pertinent documents. And again, if you have questions relative to it, you can go ahead and take note of these questions, and then later on during the open forum, we will address these questions. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the subtask under the submission, right? This is take-in application. So what is take-in application? It's actually a process wherein the school would receive the application online. no? Because anita po ani is that there are two ways, no, that the school will be able to receive the application, and both are imperative. One is for the applicant to submit the hard copy, so the school would receive it, and afterwards, the school would take in the application online. Why do we need to take in the application? We need to understand that when the applicant applied online and was able to get the application code, it's not associated to a school yet. Right? So meaning it's school-less. No, it's not related to any school. So it's like mura siya naglutaw ra nga application. So what happened is that when the applicant submits the pertinent documents to the school, that means to say that the applicant has really the intention to apply on that school. So the school will go ahead and take in the application online using the school's HRMS portal. That way, once it has been taken in, that application will already be tagged to the school, and therefore the applicant can no longer apply to other schools. So I hope that we're clear with that. This would happen the next week after the 14th of February. So this would be a 1 week activity, 17th to the 21st of February. And this can be done by the school head or pwede po si school ICT coordinator. Now, how do we go ahead and take an application? So the first step is to browse to this link, that's hrms.depedbohol.org. And once you're able to see the homepage, you select station unit and click on the access the app link. So when you click that, what's going to happen is you will be actually required to sign in to start the session. Now, on this particular section, I have three separate scenarios, right? Nga pwede ninyo ma-encounter. First one is you were a previous user and you are able to recall, right? The credentials, meaning you still have the email as well as the password to log in to the portal. So obviously, the only thing that you would need to do is log on using the previous login credential. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a video tutorial as to how to go ahead and log on to the HRMS portal of your school. The following are the steps to be able to log into the school's HRMS portal. First, you need to open up a browser. Second, on the address bar, you would need to type in the HRMS URL. So that's hrms.depedbohol.org. Hit on the enter key and then proceed to station unit and click on access the app and supply the email address that was previously registered to the HRMS system. So I will input the password now. And there you have it. You already have access to the school portal. Next step is to proceed to applicants so that you could start taking in application. All right, so that was for previous user with access. Now, the second item in here is previous user with no access, meaning you were a user before, but you forgot your password. So the first thing that needs to be done is for you to make use of the forgot your password link, right? The option, or you may also request your district ICT coordinator to process the reset request for you. However, the video that I'm going to go ahead and show you is for how to use the forgot your password option. In the event that forgot your password to log into the portal, what you could do is you click on forgot your password and then type in the email that was used to create the account. Hit on the send password reset link. Wait for the confirmation. Alright, so once you see the confirmation, you would need to access your account. In my case, considering that I'm using DepEd, I would need to open it up through Outlook because current configuration of our emails right now are only accessible through the Outlook. So if you could notice, I already got the email. I already got the email here. So what I would need to go ahead and do is not click on reset password. You copy the link and then go back to this page and you can paste the link from here and hit on the enter key. So that from here, I can go ahead and create my new password. Alright, so considering that I'm in my profile, what I could do is I can click on the grid and then click on station unit for me to get inside to the school's HRMS portal. And then I can now head to the applicants tab for me to be able to start taking it. Alright, so that was the tutorial on how to be able to make use of forgot your password option in case you forgot your password to log into the HRMS portal. All right. Now, the next tutorial here is for, say, for example, new user, meaning they didn't have access to the HRMS portal previously. So meaning it's going to be their first attempt to log on to the HRMS. So what needs to be done here is that for the new users, they would need to register first. So the registration link is hrms.depedbohol.org/rms/register. All right? And please don't share this to applicants so that dili mo daghan ang atong users, no? Kay before gigamit mo ganito sa mga applicants. So right now ako siyang gitago, gisud na ko siya RMS so that I will only be sharing it to the current personnel of DepEd Bohol. So again, that's the link depedbohol.org/rms/register. So once registered, request the school head to add you as an employee to the school's portal. And then next is request the school head to add you as the user to the school's portal. Now, if the school head does not have access to your school's portal, seek assistance from your district ICT coordinator, but only ask assistance to the district ICT coordinator probably next week because we would still be having orientation on Friday. All right, so here's the tutorial to be able to create an account and being added as an employee and also being added as a user to the portal. In the event that you're new to the school and you haven't logged on to the HRMS yet, so this is your first time, obviously, what you would need to do is to create a new account first. And for you to be able to do that, you would need to open this site, that's hrms.depedbohol.org/rms/register. All right, so hit on the enter key. And what you would need to do is to go ahead and fill out your data. So for example, all right. That's my email. That's my username. All right. So it was detected that the previous email is already in, so I'm gonna use another email, and for that I would need to input the passwords again and click on the confirmation button. Click on register. Okay. All right, register. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I will access the email for me to be able to access the link to finalize the creation. So let me just open that up. So I have here verify email address, all right? And to be safe, do not just click on verify email. What I would suggest is you copy the link and paste that to this page. All right, so once you paste that, that should allow you to get it inside the account already. All right, so the next tutorial will be on how the school head or school ICT coordinator can add that new user as an employee and portal user of the school's portal. Event that the new user of the school's portal has just created a new account with the HRMS application, the school head would need to add that user as an employee to the school's portal by going to employees and then selecting non-employee. That is selecting non-employee because it's a new account. All right, so click on non-employee and then click on this search button and look for that info. So that is Fernan. So I have it here. It was just newly created. You select that name. Then from here, put in information such as the item number that's relative to the item information of the employment. So I'm just gonna make up some dates here. All right, 302887. Employment status regular. Appointment day. I'm just gonna make up dates here for me to be able to finalize the creation. All right, so Fernan has been added already, and since that user has been added, then the school head can already add that particular user as a user to the school's portal. So add new entry and then type it up. So I have it here. Let's search. So I have here Enad Fernan Bona. So click, then save user. All right. So if I'm gonna log out right now, so I can log in now. Input my credentials, click on login, and then I already have access to the station and I can start taking in applications. All right, so that was how to go ahead and actually log on to the system or the HRMS portal of the school in the event that you are the new, for example, no, you are the new school ICT coordinator, and then you don't have an account yet. So you will need to register first. After registering online, the school head who has access, expected to have access to the school's portal will go ahead and add you as employee through the add non-employee. And once you're in already, then your school head would be able to have you added as a portal user, would be able to assist in taking in application. So the next sub-step or elaboration of the take-in application would be to already take in application. So how do we go ahead and do that? So in the school's portal, the users of the portal will go ahead and click on the applicants option. And then from the applicants option, select the 2025 cycle, and then click on the take-in application option, input the application code, which should start with 2025 dash. And once found and is correct, click the take in button. Once took in, application is already locked to the school. The school can already modify application information. And in the event of a change of mind on the applicant's end, the school can release the application code so the applicant can apply to other schools. So I will highlight that later, but let me go ahead and show you the tutorial on how to be able to take in application for visuals. This tutorial is on how to take in applications. So the first step is to click on applicants and then select 2025 cycle. So please make sure to really select 2025 cycle. And then from here, go ahead and click on take in application. Say for example, I have here the application code. I'll put that in. But please make sure that the application code starts with 2025. It should not be 2024, or else that's a past application last year, which you can no longer modify. So click on search. All right. And once you were able to find it and it matches with the folder submitted, you can click on take in. All right. In the event, by the way, say for example, you'll try to search that again and you are able to see that there is already an attached school. That means to say that this application has been taken in by a different school already. So if the intent of the applicant is to actually transfer to your school, the applicant has to go back to the previous school and request for release so that you can already take that in your school. All right, now in the event that the application has already been taken in, you should be able to see that on the dashboard. All right, and then from here you should be able to see the names of the student, or I'm sorry, the applicant, and then you can use the I button to be able to make modifications. So in the event that there is a wrong spelling or wrong phone number, this portion here will be used to address that concern. So if you click on modify, you should be able to make modifications and then save the updates. Now in the event that the applicant has changed his or her mind and would like to apply instead to a different school, so what you can do is to go ahead and release the record by clicking on the red button, withdraw, so that once it is released, then the applicant can already apply to another school, and utilizing the same applicant code or application code, the new school will be able to take in his or her application. All right, so that's basically it, no? So for us to be able to take in the application, we need to click on the applicants tab once we're logged into our school's portal. And then from there, we click on 2025 cycle. All right, we'll click this at 2025 cycle. Once we're able to click on the 2025 cycle, there is an option on the right side that says take in application. So when we click that, we will be asked of an application code. So we need to look at the pertinent documents submitted by the applicant, because the application code is expected to be there on the cover of the folder, right? You just have to type the applicant code in so that you'll be able to see the result. All right. So once you're able to verify that it was correct, no, the application number coincides with the details on the submitted pertinent documents, then you can click on take in. All right. So once we take in a SEA, the school can already lock the application, meaning the applicant can no longer use that application code to another school. Now, I know that there are questions already from the applicants about how to modify information. I have even getting a lot of messages how to modify. I use the wrong spelling. Naglibo lang po ko nila kay klaro ka no pag-apply nga. Please double check your content. Pero mo lagi. Human as we are, we commit mistakes. So in the event that the applicant would inquire to make a change, the first thing that should have happened is that dapat matake in sa school. So meaning, no modifications can be done in an application not unless it has been taken in. So it has to be taken in first before we can make modification. So only then nga magawas tong yellow eye, no? The yellow eye is supposed to view the application, but when you click on the yellow eye, you would see the option to make modification. So from there, you can modify the spelling, or you can go ahead and modify the kind of other data such as the phone number, the email address, their answers to their disability, to their religion, so on and so forth. Now, say for example, ningon si kanang applicant nasayop di ay ko og pili sa position. So the question is, can you do that? The answer is no. All right. You cannot do that. However, what you could tell the applicant to do is to apply online again to the right position. So we don't, or the system is not configured to change the position applied for. What the school can do is only change the details of the applicant, but not the position. So in the event that the applicant wishes to change the position applied for, dapat maka-generate siya bagong application ID by going to the RMS and apply for the correct position. So I hope that we're clear with that para ma-lessen ang atong question relative to that query. All right. So basically, we're done with step 2.1. We're now ready for step 2.2. Now, step 2.2 is actually what we call as initial evaluation. Now, the initial evaluation is done by the school screening committee members. Now, dili kini siya lisod, all right? For the school screening committee members, all you have to take a look at are two things. First, the education criterion, and then the eligibility. All right. For the education criterion, you would need to take a look if the diploma, POR, has been submitted. So kung diploma, klaro na mo dyan, nag-graduate siya, no? All right. So ang atong tanaw na is graduate siya bachelor's in education. All right. Or if ang iyahang kurso is not education, dapat makita nato sa iyang POR ang katong teaching professional units, katong 18 units. So meaning, kung di gani siya kasubmit ana, pwede na to siya ingnon nga, they can comply for as long as it's still within the submission, no? Katong masubmit siya. So dapat dapat masultian na nato si applicant, no? Nga kung ni-submit no tong ang receiving personnel, nakakita siya nga kanang dili sakto or dili compliant ang document ngayang gi-submit for education, dapat masultian na si applicant to go ahead and to comply the requirement. So again, when doing the initial evaluation, so dapat wala na dito siya to ganina, wala na mahitabo nga request the applicant to submit because it's already past the submission period. This is already initial evaluation. So again, there are two things to look at: education and eligibility. So say for example, ang gi-submit ni applicant is a diploma for an associate course. All right? Bisan pag naa siya eligibility, all right? Okay, we are document-based man. This could lead to disqualification. Because what happens here is that if any of the two is lacking, the application will be tagged as disqualified and will no longer be considered to the next phase. Stamp the applicant's folder with a disqualified marking and no need to accomplish IES. So, ing ana lang atong buhaton diha dapita sa initial evaluation. We just look at, right, two things: education and eligibility. Now, the next step is actually tag application status, and this is done by the school ICT coordinator. So what the school ICT coordinator would do is to rely on the kanang remarks of the members of the school screening committee as to if it's qualified or disqualified. All right. So the gitawag na to school ICT coordinator would log in to the portal, go to applicants, right? The 2025 cycle, and then select the position nga ganahan niya butangan og status. Now, we have two options, and I know you haven't seen this in the previous video because I just added it last night. So, we have two options here. One is star. Star is qualified. The trash bin is disqualified. All right? Now, so say for example, na-disqualify nimo nya pagtan-aw kay huy sakto man di ay. So you don't need to call ICT coordinator or HR office to correct it. You can just go ahead and click on the star button. So we are eliminating some bureaucratic steps, no? So that kind of convenient para sa school without having to actually call other offices or agencies to have that done. For as long as it's within the period, you can freely change the status from qualified to disqualified or disqualified to qualified. All right. So these buttons will be left enabled until the tagging period is all over. The tagging period is from the 17th to the 21st of February. So meaning after the 21st, you can no longer change that status. All right. Now, also, nadyo'y panahon no nga, you are already in this phase nga mag-assess na or sa initial mana ang initial evaluation and then si applicant nga ganahan ko nga di na ko ipadayon akong application naadyoy nahitabo nga ana. Right, first and foremost you need to advise the applicant that even if you withdraw ang iyong application karon dili na niya magamit to apply to another school because it's already over, right? We're done with the submission phase. All right, but in the event nga persistency applicant, what we can go ahead and do is to click on revert first because by the time nga na-click na nimo sa star or si trash bin, kana si withdraw button will be disabled. So what you can do is you click on revert, meaning the disqualified or qualified is changed to a new status. Inig-click nimo ang nag-new status or kini revert, it will become a new status. And once new status na siya, then you can go ahead and click on the withdraw button. So next up is the tutorial video on how to be able to tag the application. So this tutorial is on how to tag application status. Say for example, you are done with the initial evaluation. So what comes next is to tag the applications accordingly with either qualified or disqualified. And to do that, you would need to click on applicants, select 2025 cycle, and select the particular position that you'd like to work on first. So I'll check Teacher 1 Senior High School Mathematics. And see, for example, Camacho Richard is actually tagged as qualified. So we need to select on star. So it'll be tag as qualified. And I'll proceed with the second applicant in TLE Junior High School. And say, for example, this is to be tagged as disqualified. So just click on the bin button. And there you have it. That's disqualified. However, in the event that this was a mistake and the applicant is supposed to be qualified, so all you have to do is just click on the star to change the status. Now you can change the status anytime you want, provided that it's still within the period, because as soon as the tagging of status period is over, then you won't be able to do anything already. All right, now another example is if you've already tagged the application and the applicant wishes to withdraw the application. So what you could do is to click on this button. This is the revert button. This would revert this to new because you cannot click this yet. So you would need to click that button first to revert the status to new, and only then that you can click that to withdraw the application. Right. All right, so that's about it. So again, that was just really easy. No, we are really doing our best to be able to eliminate the paperworks in the process. So everything will be done via the HRMS portal. All right, so the next step, step 2.4, is the posting of IERA. IER is in the initial evaluation result, the A form. So not a Form A, not a Form B. Form A is the one that we post online or we post to our bulletin boards. It does not have a name of the applicants, just the application code. The IERB is the one that contains the name and what we will submit to the district. The IERA is the one that we post to our communication channels for public display. IERB is what we submit to the district. So I hope that we're clear on that matter. So the period of posting the IERA would take place between the 24th to the 28th of February. It can be done by the school ICT coordinator, obviously, kasi school ICT ang mo print, right? And the school screening committee can go ahead and post it to the school's communication channel. So first thing to do is to print the IERA sheet per position. So the IER is per position. So meaning if there are three positions being applied for by the applicants to your school, then you would need to print one each for each of the three positions, right? And have them signed by the members of the school screening committee, and then post the IERA sheet to the school's communication channels. And lastly, you also would need to post the schedule of the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. Now, can you face-to-face one-on-one gini siya, no? So, mauna nga ato siyang schedule, especially for schools with a lot of applicants. Okay ra siguro kung tulo ra ka applicant kay they can be done simultaneously. We have three members of the screening committee, so one is to one in ratio. However, in a regular manner, murag dili gana siya mura siya, it's not usual nga gamay ra. Kung daghan, then you could schedule them, right? You could schedule the applicants to come to the school for the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. So the next slide will go ahead and actually show you the tutorial on how to be able to print the IERA sheet per position. This tutorial is for the generation of the IERA sheet. Now, say for example, you're done with the initial evaluation for all applications. So and also done tagging the status for each of these applications, then you're now ready to go ahead and print the IER. And for you to be able to do that, you need to go to applicants, go to 2025 cycle, and select the position that you would wish to print the IER from. So for example, I want to print the senior high school mathematics teacher one, so I'll click that. And then from here, you should be able to see two links, one for the IERA and the other one for B. Now for the IERA, this is the one that we post to our school's channel, right? The B will be printed out once we're done with the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. So for now, before the face-to-face appreciation documents, you would need to generate IERA. So this is how it would look like. So for those tagged disqualified, you should be able to see this. If you could notice, there's no name, all right, and that's intentionally done, but we're showing the application code. So all you have to do is to go ahead and print this, all right, and you can go ahead and post this to your school's channel so that the applicant will be able to know as to what their remarks are, whether disqualified or qualified. You could also go ahead and already put in the schedule for the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. So perhaps you could write the schedule here right beside the asterisk, their particular schedule. So you can just go ahead and have it posted to your Facebook pages, or you could print it and post them into the bulletin boards. Thank you. All right. So we're done with all the sub steps under step 2, which is submission. So we're now ready for step 3. Step 3 is the face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents. Actually, this is not new to us because we've been doing this for the last 2 years. So there's going to be a review on how to do the assessment. So stay tuned. Okay, so for the face-to-face appreciation of the pertinent documents, or PD, this will happen between the 3rd to the 7th of March, and this will be handled by the members of the school screening committee. So what's going to happen first is that you need to print the IES for all applicants. So right now, you don't have to worry about printing the IES and then writing the information. I've configured the HRMS portal to auto-generate the IES. So all you have to do is click the button and then print it, no? So it should not be that tedious already. And then once you're done with printing all the IES, you can proceed with the conduct of the face-to-face appreciation with the applicant. So it's a one-on-one thing. So what I would suggest is that for the kung ano daw ko mag-time in between the members of the screening committee to actually convene and do initial scoring of the documents already so that during the face-to-face appreciation of documents, you already have the notation as to why the score is this, so it'll be easier for you to explain it to the applicant. Because if you're gonna start doing the assessment during which you are already facing with the applicants, it takes some time. So it is suggested that you do the evaluation already and probably write the scores on the submitted documents so that inikita na lang, you will just ask the applicant to show the original copies of these documents so that you could proceed with the assessment and taking note of their scores. Now, it is important that you need to fill out the remarks field with the applicant's special program. Say, for example, the OST, SPIMS, or solo parent. So based on the submitted MOVs, no? So before tawag four-piece beneficiary, they should be able to also submit the what we call as endorsement list from DSWD national office, not just from DSWD municipal or provincial or regional, but really coming from the national office. Now, for the September 2024 passers, diba, we allow them to be part of the role even if they don't have the PRC yet, ID yet, because we use the alternative report of rating. So during the face-to-face, you would need to demand the valid PRC ID. Kaya kung dili sila maka-produce anang valid PRC ID, they will be tagged as disqualified. If so, the school ICT coordinator would have to update the applicant status via the school's portal. For example, qualified to siya, so disqualified na siya. Next is you need to make sure to explain thoroughly how the scores are computed, and that's going to be the purpose of our next kanang session, no? I'll still be showing you a video tutorial on how to be able to print the IAS, right? But we'll have a special session right after the tutorial on how to be able to assess the documents. Now, you would need to fill out the IES appropriately with the scores and need to let the applicant sign the IES before allowing him or her to leave the venue. So the next slide would cover the tutorial on how to be able to print the IES for all applicants. This tutorial is on how to be able to print the IAS so that you don't need to giraffe it yourself. So perhaps you could go to dashboard, go to applicants, go to 2025 cycle, and then select the position. Say for example mathematics. So I have the option to print the IES. So once I click that, it would automatically give you the IES for all the applicants, so you don't need to manually write them, right? So just go ahead and print it and you're good. All right, so like what I mentioned, for the last 2 years, you've been doing or drafting the IES yourselves. But for this year, it's auto-generated by the system. So all you have to do is just, once you're done taking in and tagging the applicants with the right status, then you can go ahead and just click on print IES for you to be able to print them. By the way, there was a mistake on this video, no? Because if you could notice, di ba ko before that there's no evaluation sheet for those disqualified. So I've updated the program. So if you click on, okay, di ba, based on the tutorial here, Flores is disqualified and Camacho is qualified. However, when I try to run it, makita ninyo nga si Lubang is also part, meaning na issuehan siya, right? Na issuehan siya og IAS, which is actually not supposed to be the case, considering that disqualified. So the program or the system is not updated to only allow you print the IAS for those only tagged as qualified. So that's the update about it. Excuse me. Yes. Okay, so we're now on this session, how to assess the documents, no? So ang atong concern ani is only education, training, experience, and the rating because the PPST COI and PPST and COI is done in the district. So meaning in our level, we should be able to provide a maximum of 40, but murag imposible ng 40 considering that murag wala pa yung nakakuha rating sa let no nga 100%. Right, so mostly na mga around 9 something or 8 something. All right, so let's get moving. So what I'm showing you now are the increments table for education, for training, as well as the experience, and the rubrics for computation of points for education and the rest, right, of the ETE. No, that's education, training, and experience. So we have a sample here. So I put here a legend. 0 means minimum QS, 1 is obtained QS. So say, for example, we go back to the minimum qualification standard. For teacher 1 position, minimum QS is that the applicant should be a bachelor's degree holder for education, or if not, accountancy or accountancy siya, na siya 18 units in education. And then for training and experience, there's no requirement. So what we would need to go ahead and do is to determine those in our increments table. So itong tanawon, DSED, mutanaw to sa education, that's bachelor's degree, right? All right, so okay, bachelor's degree man siya, so meaning the level that is required for the applicant to apply for the position is level 6. So this is the reason why we wrote here 6, and then this is for the QS. So next is we'll go ahead and take a look at as to what were the credentials submitted by the applicant. So Apple, for example, is a BSed graduate. She was able to show the diploma, and then she was also able to show the certificate of completed units for the masteral degree or masteral program. And we found out that there's 18 units there. So what we would need to go ahead and do is to look at the increments table and look for 18 units earned towards the completion of a master's degree. So that's 11. So what was going to happen now is that the obtained QS will be subtracted by the minimum QS. So that's 11 here, 18 units MA, and then 6, which is bachelor. So that is 11 minus 6, that is 5. So asa na to pangitao ng points? This is just the increments. We still don't know the points yet. So for us to be able to determine the points, we have to look at the rubrics for computation. And if you could notice, we have here that 4 to 5 increments would have a rating of 4. And that's the reason why we're able to get 4 points for education. Now, for the other item, training. So we'll take a look at the obtained hours of Apple, 32 hours. So what would go ahead and do is to look at 32 hours. 32 hours fall under level 5. So that would be level 5 minus 1. Why 1? Because 0 hours or non-requirement is level 1. So 5 minus 4, 1 is equals to 4. So we're able to obtain 4 increments. So we'll look at training here and look where 4 increments fall under. So makita natin diri dapita nga yung corresponding point is actually 4. All right? So we write also 4 here. For the experience, so Apple was able to obtain 4 years of teaching experience. So sa manitabo, we look at 4 years and we found out that it falls under level 9. So that's 9 minus 1 yun ang 1 because 0 or none ang requirement. So none to less than 6 months, that's 1. So that's 9 minus 1, that's 8. And we look at the experience rubrics. So 8 to 9 increments is actually equal to 8 points. And that's the reason why we have 8 points here. So this is just really a breeze through review, no, on how to be able to provide points. And you need to be very articulate on this because you're doing this with the applicant, no, in front of you. All right. So you would need to be able to explain that your minimum QS is the minimum QS of the position you're applying for is actually bachelor's degree, and that's level 6. And then based on your MOVs, you've submitted your diploma for your bachelor, And then there's a certificate of completed units worth 18 units for your masteral. So we take a look at the increments table. Nya mo na 18 units is equal to 11. So 11, which is your obtained QS, will be subtracted by the minimum QS of 6. And that's the reason why you're able to obtain 5 increments. And then we look at the rubrics for computation to be able to determine the points. So we need to be very articulate with how we are doing the computation so that we can avoid further inquiries from the applicant, because our goal is that all of the applicant's question will be answered during the face-to-face gitawag nito appreciation, kay after they will sign, no, they will already sign the IES. And if they have signed the IES, that means to say they can no longer ask, because that means to say they have accepted everything what's written on the IES sheet. So for this particular submitted documents, the total ETE points for education, training, and experience is only 16. All right? Nya ako lang i-highlight. So kung bachelor lang si applicant, wala siya units for master's degree, ang iyang points gid ana is 0, no? Kay nahitabuan na kung bachelor ra siya, that is 6, ang iyang obtain is 6, iyang minimum is also 6, so 6 minus 6, that's 0. Based on the computation here, there's no 0 increments, and that's the reason why mas 0 ang iyang points. Now, you might want to ask, what if the applicant was BSA during the undergrad, and then siya 18 units? So would the 18 units nga professional education be counted as a master's degree? The answer is no. Why? That is because other bachelor program plus 18 units is also a minimum requirement. So meaning ang iyang 18 units nga na extra on top of BSA will not be counted because that has become a minimum requirement for him or her, considering that she or he is not a bachelor in education graduate. So I hope that klaro ta Repita. So once we're done with that, you can go ahead and proceed with filling out the IES. So this is how we can fill out the IES. Okay, para ma-record tanan ba, so that if there's a query, everything is there. So we just copied BS Ed plus MA 18 units, and then we labeled it level 11, and then 11 minus 6 equals to 5, actual score is 4. And then for the training hours, 32H, we labeled at level 5, so 5 minus 1 is equals to 5, and that constitutes 4 points. And then for the experience, 4 years, level 9, 9 minus 1 is equals to 4, constituting 8 points for experience. Now, we'll go ahead and proceed to the rating. For the rating, we don't have a table to use, no, but we have a formula to use. What we just need to go ahead and do is to actually determine the score or the rating from the report of rating issued by PRC. Whatever is the score will be divided by 100 because it's a percentage rating. So, and then afterwards, it will be multiplied by 10 for us to be able to transmute it to a 10-point system. So, for example, Apple, based on the report of rating, it shows there 82.75 as a rating. So we'll have to divide that by 100, then multiply that by 10 for us to be able to get 8.275 points for the rating. So once we're able to compute that, we also need to add that to the IES. So that's 82.75 divided by 10, right? I'm sorry, divided by 100 times 10. So we're able to compute for 82.275. All right. So basically, once we're done with that, you show it to the applicant and then tell the applicant that these are the scores that we have computed. Then you can ask if there are any questions, so that if there's no questions at all, then the applicant will need to go ahead and sign the IES. There's a portion for the applicant there to sign. So have them sign it. And then once they're able to sign, they can take a picture of the IES, no, as their copy, because we are only preparing one. All right, so that you would also be able to check whether or not there has been any changes in the district, no? So that kuan pa, marag, at least ba ma-safeguard sila in the event that there are any changes. Because dapat wala na yung ma-change, no? Sa education, training, experience, or rating, inigabot sa district, because the role of the district is only for the teaching demo as well as teaching reflection. Right? So, say for example, doon na issue though, but ang nahitabo is that si applicant kay di siya kadawat sa iyang score on the school level. So wala siya ni pirma. That's the only time nga pwede i-reassess, no? Sa district level ang iyang documents and then ma-advisean siya. In which case, there's going to be another face-to-face appreciation of pertinent documents nga i-hold. But we're hoping nga wala na mahitabo. And that's the reason why the members of the school screening committee should be that articulate and that decisive with conviction in terms of, kanang telling the applicant about the matter at hand. So, para dili siya daghag kuskus balungos. All right. Now, next phase is actually the 3.1, and that's the submission of documents to the district office. So, what's going to happen here is that once updated na ang system, right? Kaya di ba there's a possibility nga napay ma-DQ. For example, katong September 2024 let passer, pag sa face-to-face pa siya ka-submit sa valid PRC, pwede pa man ma-change yung qualified to disqualified, right? So you would need to print the IERB sheet. Okay. For the IERB sheet, what happens is that those tagged as disqualified will no longer show up on the IERB. So mani kalahian sa IERA ug B. Ang IERA, it's arranged according to the application code, does not show the name, but would show the qualified and disqualified, so meaning all applicants that are taken in. But for the IERB, it only contains the qualified applicants, and it's now arranged according to their last name and first name. So what's going to happen here is that you need to print the IERB sheet and fill out the sheet with the scores from the IES. So this time, mao ni siya ang murag manual, no? Okay, di ba? Ang kanang IERB, blanco pa na siya because our system is not configured to actually make scoring online. So what happens is that, di ba, ito mag-score sa IES. So, inighaman ana is mo printa sa IERB so that magbase ta kung unsay naa sa naa sa IES, ato siyang i-transfer ang mga scores dito sa IERB. So, it's going to be handwritten. Alright? And then, once mahuman na, ato na siyang gituyo kay para dili bitaw malibat-libat kay kung if we put in the scores online magod, tendency is dahil masayop, and then not all members have access to computers, so it may take some time. So, ang atong gipadagan diri nga process is that the IERB can be printed but with no scores, all right? And then the ICT coordinator, who is the secretariat, will go ahead and transfer the scores from the IES to the IERB so that inigpapirma niya sa members of the school screening committee, those members can go ahead and easily double check. Tanaw niya, gutang na mag-random checking. For Inad Fernando, ang naadri sa IERB is 10 ang education. So paklion si IES ni Fernando Enad and check if 10 ba jud so that ma-double check siya, and only then that the member of that screening committee can go ahead and sign the IERB. Now, once na-sign na ng IERB, we need to forward already those things to the district office. And what do we forward? We need to forward the IERB sheet. Nya, ato na siyang isulod sa folder, one folder, and it should be the top sheet. And then sa likod, no, second to the top sheet will be the IES of all qualified applicants. So meaning mathematics. So tanang IES sa tanang qualified applicants, nakabutang siya sa ilawom sa IESB. And it should be arranged according to the sequencing found in the IERB sheet. All right? Applicant folders of applicants, again, arranged according to IERB sequencing. What's going to happen is that you bundle it, the folder 1 alongside with the applicant's folder, you bundle it kay para mausa ra siya, dili siya mahiwalay-hiwalay. And above bundling is per position kay basi ni usa tibok school, no? Ang ato i-bundle is, say for example sa high school, elementary, dili kay problema. Pero probably duha kay kindergarten ug elementary. But for the high school, murag, if I'm not mistaken, we shall be receiving more or less or maximum of 24 no positions. So meaning we should be preparing 24 bundles. Okay, one bundle would be for one position containing the IARB sheet on top, and then katong IES, and then bundled with the applicant folders. All right, so I hope that we're actually clear with that already. Let me just go ahead and show you the tutorial on how to be able to print the IARB sheet. Ay, wala di ko'y tutorial. Pero same ra gyapon no, murag mao ni siya sa kining dire, no? You've seen this a while ago. Ni click ra mo IARE sheet, right? IES ang ubos ana is IARB sheet. So you click on that and you will be able to auto-generate the IARB sheet. So it's not really that tedious. All right, so I have important notes here. For step number 2, what's na step number 2? Step number 2 is receiving documents pa na siya nga phase, no? Do not accept additional documents later than 5 p.m. on the 14th of February 2025. Next, letter of intents, PDS, and the Annex A or C should be properly accomplished. So kung yung tag accomplished, what does that mean? For the letter of intent, the applicant was able to sign on top of his name. For the PDS, the applicant should have been able to sign the kind of itong lower portion, no? For the first 3 pages, kanang page 1, page 2, page 3, na siya pirma, na pa date. And then the last page, which is page 4, dapat na pirmahan niya ang katong iyahang name. And then doon na po pirma sa officialing official. So again, if we talk about officialing official, it can be barangay captain or punong barangay, municipal mayor or governor or notary public. Now, okay, must be signed appropriately. In case it wasn't, advise the applicant to comply such requirement, provided nga it's still within the submission period ha. So mo nang importante sa ma-receive sa document nga iyan na nang matanaw kay para kuan ba dili bitaw murag maatrasado or dili pud murag maalkansi madihado si applicant. Kay what if gidawat ra ninyo nya wala nyo gi-check, nya gi-check ninyo February 15 na. Nya uy kulangan man din pirma. So dili na pwede nga maka-update si or maka-resubmit si applicant considering nga it's past the submission due date already. So mo na nga I'm requesting the school heads to let the person receiving the documents to really check what have been submitted. Ang tanaw na gidaan na kay napirmahan ba ang letter of intent, napirmahan ba ang PDS, napirmahan ba ang AOC, o dapat nakasubmit siya TOR or diploma o ang iyahang lisensya. Maura na tan-awon jud nato nga kana batang dili makaapekto sa chance ni applicant for proceeding to the next phase. Now, we also would need to remind our applicants, especially for those update or retain, that they should be able to submit the training certificates, no, updated since 2020 onwards, or they'll get 0 for this criterion. So, say for example, last RQA na siya 3 points, no, sa iyahang training. Yeah, for this year, yun siya retain pero wala siya ni-submit og training. So this year, ma-0 na because we no longer have the MOVs that we are requiring them to do. And we have been telling them this during the orientation, and then the recording was posted a lot of times. So they should have been able to have known already that it is a must for them to go ahead and submit the training certificates for update and retain applicants. Now, here are also the important notes for step 3. So again, mura na siya gibalik, no? Kanang step 3 kaduha, applicants with no valid PRC ID not existing expired during face-to-face appreciation of PDs shall be tagged as disqualified. So dapat by the time, no? So meaning ana kanus amni around March 3 to 7. So during which nga i-conduct ang face-to-face nga appreciation of documents dapat iyang lisensya kay valid pa. So if you have applicants nga submit, probably you could check kung kanusa ma-expire ang iyahang license so that kung ma-expire na siya during the face-to-face validation, then it shall be tagged as disqualified. They have enough time to go ahead and actually apply for a renewal. And not a justification, it's failing to meet the CSC's minimum qualification standards. So in which case, the IES will be labeled properly as such, and the HRMS application status shall be tagged the same. Now, do not accept additional documents on top of what already have been submitted during the face-to-face appreciation. Say, for example, kanang yung na-submit, no? During the submission phase kay TOR lang sa iyang bachelor, and then during the face-to-face, nagdash siya certificate of kanang completion of units kay para mapunan iyahang score sa education, dili na siya pwede. Alright? So, dili na siya pwede. Kay dapat everything should have been submitted during the submission phase, which is the karon 5th to the 14th of February. Do not the exception, no? For September 2024 let passers, they will be submitting their valid PRC kay di ba nilang gi-submit is only the alternative, which is the report of rating. So during the face-to-face, makapuno sila rapod ang September 2024 let passers. Kung March na siya, disqualified na automatic, dili makasubmit o PRC ID. Another, Juris Doctor or Bachelor of Laws degree is actually equivalent to a doctorate degree and will be assessed accordingly. So automatic na sila 10, no? Automatic na sila 10 kaya ang requirement kay kung ano naman kung car ka sa MA, kay automatic man ka 10. Unya kung Juris Doctor ka or Bachelor of Laws, so meaning kung naka-earn naka-units de depita, that is already putting you on on a doctorate level. So, kung pila ka units iyang na-obtain, automatically, basta maka-earn lang siya og units sa bachelor, o sa Bachelor of Laws or Juris Doctor, automatically they'll get 10. Now, and this is a frequently asked question, kanang mga TESOL or ESL ng mga applicants, we will accept them for as long as the certificate of employment that was issued by the provider must state one position. Dapat mugawas dito nga online teacher or online tutor. Alright? Not trainer. Dapat teacher yun. Online teacher, online tutor. Alright? The status, it should reflect na full-time. Okay, we need to understand that per DepEd Order number 7 Series 2023, we might be allowing part-time but there is a clause nga dapat para ma-consider siya sa experience, dapat ni work siya 4 hours on a daily basis for a 5-day per week period. So meaning, naa siya mahuman nga for 20 hours, right? Which is half of the full time in a week. So dapat kanang appreciate na niya siya ma-explain na to nga imong certificate does not bear the acceptable position, so we cannot consider, or your certificate does not state whether you're a full-time or a part-time. It also does not state that you've been working for 20 hours a week, so we cannot consider. So mao na nga atong buhaton dapita. So without clear notation, the COE will not be considered. Right? So again, COE must bear teaching position remark if the issuer is not an educational institution. Pero kung educational institution, ay nagpag-ipad. Maingong ra dito og this certified that Inad Fernando is a bona fide employee of this institution. So, ana na siya. Given na siya. All right, now, only valid TESDA NCs are admissible to the training criterion provided it is appropriate to the teaching position applied for. Pasensya na sa mga wrong, missing mga words, no? Kay, hindi na pa ako type niya, wala ko na proofread. All right, so, dapat appropriate. So, say for example, ni take siya o na siya bookkeeping, pero yung applyan kay English, there's no relationship. right? What's your relationship? So, dapat di siya makonsider. However, for the elementary, because ang elementary kay na naman na sila four components, no? Sa HE, IA, AFA, as well as ICT. So, if the trainings are relevant to that, pwede siya. Pero imposible kayo, say for example, kanang SMAW, yan, apply ko elementary, wa man siguro mag-SMAW sa elementary, no? Right? So, mao na nga gibalik na to sa school ni sa mga teachers sa school mao'y nakabalo kung unsay mga component nga gi-offer sa ilang APP. All right? So if it's covered in the APP subject or if the competency is covered in the APP subject, then by all means accept the TESDA and C. But if dili, do not. However, that is special case if it's related to computer, it's acceptable, no? Nga naman because it is a requirement in teachers in the 21st century to have the basic ICT skills. Okay, so those are the important notes there. So I hope that we're able to take note of it. But if still na po may questions relative to how to assess, please go ahead and take note of those questions and ask that during the open forum. Now, so what's going to happen here is we'll have a workshop, all right? And for this workshop, I'll be giving you 2 minutes, right? So I have 3 workshops here, two scenarios for the step 2, and then 1 scenario for the step 3. So I'll be showing the scenario here, and then kung naay mo raise of hand to share their answer, we'll be allowing them to unmute. But kung walay mo hands up, kay ako'y mamili. So be ready. Okay, so here's the scenario. So the applicant submits the following: letter of intent, PDS, and the checklist of requirements. So I'll give you 2 minutes to go ahead and assess, right, whether these are admissible in step 2. And after 2 minutes, anyone who'd like to share can go ahead and show a raise of a hand. So we'll be able to acknowledge you and let you unmute your phone and share your answer. So again, those are the documents submitted. It's still in step 2. Step 2 is receiving of documents, pertinent documents. Yeah, during the initial, you found out these are the documents that were submitted by the applicant. So assess whether this is admissible for step number 2. If no one would raise their hand, I'll go ahead and select a participant here. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, so 1 minute is up. Who would like to share their answer? Please show a raise of a hand. Yan sa ganahan mo share. Would you raise of hand? Sige, can we hear from, and this is shout out to the members of the screening committee who are currently in San Agustin National High School. So I'd like to call the attention of Dr. Dultra to please unmute Milin Pogoy. Okay. Hi, Dr. Dultra. Can you unmute and provide your answer to this scenario 1? Right? Nabatay question or nabatay answer? Dr. Dultra? Ay, wala mo yung audio. Okay. Na may audio, oy, wala mo yung camera. Actually, I got a kining kuan answer no from the group. I'm not sure if apil ba si Ma'am Vivian dito nga group. So the response here is mandatory, no? Ang pirma. So yes, actually, so what happens here is that for the letter of intent, there's no signature of the applicant. All right. And then for the gitawag na to nga PDS, it only bears the applicant's signature but no signature of the officiating official. All right. And then for the third, right, what happens is that though there is a signature for the applicant, there's no signature for the administering officer. So I hope nga nakita na to dadapita ang atong mga issues. So that's the answer. All right. And aside from that, kini nga portion wala siya checky, no? Nabi dito to be filled out. So wa siya ningon og may be filled out. It's to be filled out. So it's mandatory. It should be filled out by the applicant. So once na-receive na to siya, then natanaw to, oy, kulangan man ni, actually, dili po na siya, di po ta maingon og disqualified siya dito, no? It's just that kung napay enough time within the submission period, let the applicant comply, but to be submitted within the submission period. However, kung diha na mo nakita ano man ang submission period, it may lead to disqualification for not following the steps. All right? Mo na nga I'm imploring the schools no nga kung kinsa man na inyong receiving personnel that they would really go through the document being submitted and take a look at these aspects so that we would be able to avoid disqualification of our applicants due to technicalities. All right. Now let's go ahead and proceed to the next workshop. Congratulations, Ma'am Bibian. Okay. So, by the way, kanang admin officer, pwede na siya walay pirma, no? Pero before siya papicturan, kay kini administrative officer kay kanimong school. But before siya papicturan sa gitawag na to nga applicant kato nanay check, nanay date, nanay katong received, dapat pirmahan siya sa kung kinsa may ni-receive sa document kay para at least makita kung kinsa ang ni-receive. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and move on to the second scenario. Now, second scenario, these are the submissions of the applicant. We have letter of intent, personal data sheet, certificate of completed units for the MIND program, report of letter rating, all right, certificate of participation, so on and so forth. Okay. Step 2 pa niya, we're not yet in step 3. So I'll give you 2 minutes to go ahead and assess, all right, if the documents submitted by the applicants are actually admissible. So 2 minutes, start now. Okay niya, ang atong paansiron ani kay taga Kalape, Ma'am Leia Vanessa Balite. Please prepare. Ma'am Leia. And I hope you have a microphone to unmute. And please let me know asa nga user kung kalapi 1 or 2 baka mamlay. So I could request you to unmute. So again, those are the submissions. Question, are these admissible? Step 2 pata. I like to highlight we are still in step 2. Okay. All right, 1 minute left. Thirty seconds. Wala ko naghatag og dako nga time because step 2 pa nga tong i-assess 3, dili pa step 3. Okay. Ma'am Lay, na ba ka diri karon? Asa ka nga user? Ako'y chat nga na-receive. Okay. Sige, 1 minute is up. Who'd like to share? Kaya murag nangita pagpaagi si Ma'am Lay to go ahead and get online. I would like to share. Can I see raise of hands? Raise of hands. Wajay mo raise of hand. Okay. Joy Marial. Yes, ma'am. Pangitaon sa kanak ko, mama. Ask to unmute. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Good morning, Sir Inad. Ma'am Gina.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Gina Honido?
Yes.
Okay.
Dapat updated iyang training. Dili na i-appeal ang mid-year NSET 2019 kay 2020 raman ko onwards.
What else, ma'am?
Then another one nga dili na to i-appeal is ato ipakuha na is certificate of employment for a cashier position not related to teaching.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Napailain, ma'am?
Na ako i-file sir. With regards to the certificate of participation and basic computer skills training 20 hours, makreditan man na nato if TLE teachers, but pwede pa po na nato i-credit for all subject areas since teachers should have the knowledge on the computer skills.
Yes, ma'am. The answer is yes. Ako nag-iingon hinang for anything related to ICT, it will be considering that basic ICT is a requirement for a 21st century. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sir Inan.
Welcome, ma'am. All right. Sakto to mga tubag ni Ma'am Gina ganihinano. However, napata sa step number 2. So, dili na to i-stress yourself sa step number 2. Ang step number 2, ang aturang tanawon, katurang letter of intent, personal data sheet, o iyahang education, as well as the annex. So, let's take a look unsay tubag na to dapita. So, mara itong tanawon, basta napata sa step 2, kay if o kayo po na ito pitidaghan madugay ta, kay kanang uban, unya raman na sa face-to-face. Pwede naman ta ato dito, dili mag-include ni cashier position or kaning napabailain na ni o kining mid-year inset nga 2019. So, during the phase 2, I'm sorry, step 2, itong tanawon, na-accomplish ba yung letter of intent? Yaw, man siya data. So, it's a given siguro based on the situation. Personal data sheet. Now, atong tanawon diri dapita. If you could notice, ang iyang gisubmit diri is Certificate of Completed Units for the MAID program. Nya, base na sa'yo po diri label, no? Okay, nasayop di kog label diri dapita kang education ang ibutang kay qualified. Based sa iyang gisubmit, dili siya qualified. Nga naman, maid raman, takibaw ka ng unsa iyahang bachelor ba kung BS Ed ba siya, BA Ed ba siya, BSA ba siya with 18 units. So, let me just modify this kaya basin makita ninyo. Wait. So, this is disqualified. Nalibat na siguro ko. Okay. All right. Sige. So, again, if we do the what we call as step 2, we just have to look at the letter of intent, personal data sheet, and then education, right? As well as eligibility and the Annex A or C. So, given nga walay issue sa letter of intent, more likely nakapasar siya repita. So, what we would need to take a look at next is the MOV or the credential for education, and then eligibility kay mao man ni ang minimum qualification standards, right? So for education, na yung submit is only certificate of completed units for the MAID program. That certificate is not a guarantee that he or she was able to finish BS Ed or BA Ed because that's just a certificate of completed units. Therefore, based on the submission, it is tagged or it will be tagged as disqualified. Alright? Kung saan i-edit kay Murag. Wrong notion na pata. Basta ma-screenshotan. So, this is disqualified. Okay. We reshare. Okay. All right. So education is disqualified because there's no diploma or TOR relative to the bachelor's degree completed by the applicant. All right. Even if we know nga si applicant kayong ana, but then again, we are document based. All right. We don't base on public knowledge. Kaya kung public knowledge na lang, di lang ito mapasubmit, no? Og requirement. And also, by following the strict procedures, we would be able to really identify as to who these applicants are nga kana bitaw kana ni follow, all right, sa outline procedures and process by central office as well as the kana division of Bohol. So that's one, disqualified siya sa education. And then the second one, eligibility, kanyang gisubmit kay report of let rating, wala siya PRCID, kay September 2024, passer siya. So temporarily complied kay report of let rating raman. Kaya ang atong requirement rin dapita ka sa eligibility is the PRCID, not the rating. No? Pero for September 2024 passer, we allow them to submit for now the report of rating. This is step 2. All right, so unsa may posibilidad to buhaton diri dapita? First, if it's within submission period, let the applicant comply but to be submitted within the submission period. If it's outside the submission period, then it will result to disqualification. And again, there's a reason why in step 2, which would happen today up until the 14th of February, that as much as possible, we would really be able to know how to properly assess the most important points in step 2 so that we'll be able to properly advise our applicants whether or not they could move on to the next or delete. All right. And that is by checking if the letter of intent is accomplished, personal data sheet is accomplished, and that the diploma, which is a proof to the degree, has been submitted. All right. Okay, mora man tan-awon kay bachelor may kinahanglan, no? And then the Annex C is, or Annex A or C has been accomplished. So I hope nga murag naklaro ta diya dapita. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next scenario. The next scenario is relative to step number 3. So these are the submissions by the applicant. So kay daghan-daghan man na siya. And this is already step 3. Koanta, I'll give you 10 minutes, right? So mag-check na ta 11:30. Right? I'll give you 10 minutes to be able to do an assessment for the submitted documents, right, of the applicant. So, ayun yung submit letter of intent, personal data sheet, diploma for bachelor in secondary education, major in computer education, certificate of completed units, 21 for the MIDE programs, report of letter rating, 88%, September 2024 passer, certificate of participation, mid-year NSET, no, 2024, 40 hours, another for NSET 2019, 40 hours, certificate of employment for a cashier, 2 years, basic computer skills training, 20 hours, employment for teaching position, 4 months, and then appointment as substitute teacher, 3 months, and then Annex A. Again, we are in step 3. So, okay, step 3 naman ta, we are already doing the assessment, right? So, meaning we are going to be able to provide the scores already. So, we'll be selecting 30 districts to go ahead and share their answer to this particular scenario. And I've done the raffling off of those who will do the presentation. So um we have from the now. So natay the now. Naapod tay Tubigon West. And then we have Dawis. So we have Danau, Tubigon West, and then Dawis. So after 11:30, we're gonna go ahead and or I'm gonna go ahead and ask these districts to go ahead and show their answers, right, to the workshop being provided. So 6 minutes left. Dali ra kayo ni siya. Hmm. Hmm. All right, for those who are messaging me about a recording, yes, it's currently being recorded. So I should be able, because later on I'll be giving you a link, and that link would contain all the materials, the PowerPoint that I'm using right now, as well as the atong guidelines for T1 nga assessment. And I'll also be uploading in there the video, recording of the virtual orientation. So 4 minutes left. So hopefully we'll get to hear from these 3 districts. Again, we have Danao, we have to Bigon West, and then Dawis. So during the presentation, what you were supposed to be showing is already the assessment. So that will be reflected on the IES, no? So what's going to be the score for education? What's going to be kay kini siya given naman ni qualify na kay ni do naman siya sa step 3. So meaning iyang gipang submit is already admissible, right? Probably during the face-to-face nakasubmit na po siya og PRC ID, right? At ibutang sa situation. So if that's the case, what will be the rating for EPER of that particular applicant? And during the presentation, might as well nga murag we'll already practice on how we deliver this info to our applicants, to this information. So 3 minutes. Right, ang taga San Isidro na out daw, brown out. Sige lang Sir Mark because I'll be sharing the recording of this orientation. 2 minutes. Right, 1 minute. So I hope that the now district is ready with their presentation for this particular scenario. All right, it's already 11:30, so we'll get started. Let's see the now. So there are 3 the nows here, no? We have the now 1, 2, and 3, and we have the now National High School. So kini na lang siguro the now National High School. Can we request the now National High School to please unmute? Or kinsa may kuan kanang napilian sa Danao to go ahead and do the presentation. By the way, you can actually, oh, okay. Yes, Danao.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
For the non-national high schools, for the education, based on yahang masteral is not in line with computer education. So
the points is 0. For
Okay.
the training, is mid-year inset 2024, 40 hours under level 6. So ayang points is, based on the table, is 6 points. Then for the experience, she has a total experience of 7 months. So under level 2, less than 1 year. So she has 2 points. And for the rating, which is 88% divided by 100 times 10 is 8.8. So a total of 16.8 points.
Great. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
the Now. A round of applause, virtual applause for the Now National High School. All right. So the Now National High School stipulated nga 0 for education, 6 points for training, and then 2 points for experience. And then for the rating, that's 8.8. Now we'll go ahead and move on to our next presenters. We have Tubigon West. And we have here Tubigon West National High School. Murag usa ra po Tubigon West, no? Nga ako nakita. Or kinsay ganahan, pwede si Tubigon West 3, Tubigon West 1, pwede po si Tubigon West nga National High School. I've allowed you to unmute, so please unmute and share your assessment to the document submitted. Oh, we have an unmute from Bohol, Tubigon West. Yes, or kinsa man ni open po si West 1.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Ay, sige, Sir Joven. Ikaw na lang, sir. Sige, go, sir.
Actually, I have recorded all my observations, and then it so happened that the observations of the Danao district, we have the same. And then I will only just get a point about the appointment of substitute teacher. I think dili siguro na appointment, murag ko ang siguro ni murag service credit siguro ni ang dapat i-pass.
Service record.
Service record. Sorry. Service record, sir. And then kaning sa major incident 2019 murag dili na siya ma-appeal.
Okay.
Kay as we agreed 2020 and beyond man.
Okay.
So pareha po may observation atong ang iyahang MAED program dili siya related dito sa computer education. Basta sir kay murag pare-pareha ra jud may upuan dia. For the computation murag later na may ana mag-observe.
Okay. So ako lang ikaw nga
Okay.
pares-pares sa Danao.
Okay, mao lagi sir.
Sige,
Okay.
thank you so much, Sir Joven.
Thank you very much.
All right. And now we'll hear from Dawis. We have Dawis 1 and 2. I'll allow you to unmute 1 and 2. So anyone would wish to go ahead and share? Dawis? Sige, sir. Dawis? Sir Kalin? Right, we actually have interesting responses, no, and that is why we're just gathering your the feedback or observations so that we'll have a common understanding later after the third presenter is done. So can we have anyone from Dawis 1 or Dawis 2? I've already allowed your microphones to be unmuted, so you can go ahead and unmute now should you wish to start sharing your output already. Dawis? Okay. Dawis 1. Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, fellow participants. Based on the data submitted, sir, As we have assessed, nitanaw na wala minag ka ng tagsa-tagsa sir, because ang among form wala pa po dire, but we will try to go over with the form, sir. For the kung nadumduman lang for the participation for the training, that's 40 hours. 40 hours, that is equivalent to 10 points. And then for the skills, that's 20 hours. 2019 certification of participation, sir, will not be included, since you will just include the 2020 up to 2024 participation for that training. Then since the applicant is a passer of September 2024, we will consider also the LET rating for the experiencer. Okay, then for the certificate of employment for teaching position, 4 months, and a substitute, that will also be added 4 and 3 months. That's 7 months. That's less than 1 year. So, less than 1 year. We will still check, sir. Amo sa review balik, sir, ha? Kanang kuhan pilay. Pilay equivalent, sir. Actually, wala pa gid mi nagka-go over sa entire kanang kuhan, sir. But we will be going over with the given criteria. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have a raise of hand from Tubigon West. Tubigon West 1. You may now unmute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
This is in
morning.
behalf of Tobigo West 1 elementary level. Madungo ko, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
So we have here our computation for our assessment for education, since she has 21 units, that is level 11 minus 6 equals 5, and that is 4 points.
Okay.
For the LET, that is 88%, and that is the 88 divided by 100 times 10, that is 8.8. And then for the training, we considered 60 hours because we include basic computer skills training 20 hours and the NSET 2024, that is 60 hours. And that is level 8 minus 1 equals 7, and that is 6 points. And for the experience, since her experience is 7 months, and on the table, we have 6 months to 1 year, that is level 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1, and that is 0. So that's all, and thank you.
So we have a total of 18.18, ma'am, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So we have another raise of hands. So ato na ni pagbigyan si Sir Sofronio. Yes, sir. Take it away, sir.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Based sa akong assessment, sir, sa submitted nga mga papers sa education is 12 minus 6, we have 6. So we have, based sa kanang points, we have 6 points. Then sa training, so 8 minus 1, we have 7. Then I give it 6 points.
Okay.
Then sa experience niya kay 2 minus 1, we have 0 points. Then sa let niya is 88 divided by 100 times 10. So we have 8.8 points. So ang total kay 12 plus 8.8, we have 20.8 points set.
20.8. So wala say score sa answer experience na
0, sir, kay 2 minus 1 is 1. So base sa kanang sa ato ang base sa ato ang sa increment kay 2 raman ang iyahang 2 to 3 increments naman ang minimum. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So wala may 1 increment, sir. So I give it 0 points.
Okay. All right. Sige. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. And before we'll provide the answer, allow me to give you the school's division superintendent OIC of the Division of Bohol, Dr. Faye Loares. Ma'am. Come on, it. Okay. True. Right. Okay na, Ma'am Flor.
Okay na.
Okay.
Okay na.
Good morning, everyone. Good noon again. To the esteemed members of the school screening committee, to all of you, a pleasant good morning to all. I would like to start my message with Ivan Welton Fitzwater quotation when he said, "The future of the world is in my classroom today." As we embark on this online orientation for the recruitment and selection of the Teacher 1 applicants in DepEd Bohol, we recognize the critical role you play in shaping the future of our learners. Your commitment to upholding meritocracy, fairness, and excellence in the selection process ensures that only the most qualified, passionate, and dedicated educators join our task force. May this session equip you with the necessary insights to conduct a thorough and objective evaluation in alignment with DepEd's vision of providing quality education for all. Let us work together to uphold the highest standards in teacher recruitment, knowing that every decision we make today will impact generations to come. Again, thank you so much for your dedication and service to this noble cause of education. Because in DepEd Bohol, we care for all. Behold, Abante Bohol. Mabuhay ang DepEd Bohol. Thank you and again, good morning.
Virtual applause for Dr. Loares. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us in this orientation. Okay, so we're so fortunate, no, that Dr. Loares took the time to actually join us and provide a message. So we'll go back to our pending assignment. Okay, so how do we go ahead and actually do step 3? And again, step 3 is face-to-face appreciation of documents. So basically, what we would need to go ahead and look at now, because ang atong gitanaw before is katong itong letter of intent, personal data sheet, education, eligibility, and then annex A or C. During phase or step 3, what we will now be focusing are really the documents, no, submitted that are part of the kaiyahang credentials, the main credentials. So that means to say we'll go ahead and take a look at these documents, the diploma, the certificate of completed units, report of let rating, right? Participation, so on and so forth. Now, of course, the first thing that you would need to go ahead and do is to eliminate those things that are not supposed to be part of it. And based on what we have agreed a while ago, obviously, for trainings that are prior to 2020 will not be included. So these are the things that will be taken out of the list. So meaning those with no excess will be the ones to go through the appreciation of documents. So we did not include the certificate of participation for mid-year NCET 2019 because it is prior to 2020. Based on the guidelines, we only assess trainings that took place the 1st of January 2020 onwards. So meaning kana diha dapitang tang na siya. And then the certificate of employment for a cashier position, 2 years, though 2 years na siya, but it's not related to teaching. That's the reason why we're excluding it. So meaning there are only 7 documents that are admissible to the face-to-face appreciation. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is to go ahead and plot them, no? For us to be able to take a look as to how we would appreciate. So again, the QS here would be 6 for education, 1 for training, one for experience. So our goal now is to be able to take a look at the obtained. All right. Now, what happens in here is that Fernan was able to submit a certificate of completed units with 21 units total. So ang nahitabo ani is this. I understand that the apprehension no si Danao ni English nga dili align with the major. So let's try to clear this up. The masters ang makuha is not required to be aligned with the major. Because if you could notice in here, all right, sa atong increments table, it says 21 units earned towards the completion of a master's degree. So it's not specific, right? So for as long as it is MAED, all right, Master of Education, ang gigol naman na kay na-align siya sa education, not necessarily towards a particular specialization, no? Kay, unsaon na lang ang elementary. Ang elementary kay, wala na sila major. 'Di ba? Kay Gen Ed man na sila pag bachelor. So kung mag-specific ta na, meaning ang ilahang Master for Educational Supervision and ilahang kanang major dili makuha because it's general. Walang puti masteral nga general, right? For most of the time, the masterals has specialization. All right? So we consider that. Kay maed man siya, that's education, right? So meaning, Fernan was able to obtain BS Ed plus 21 units of MA. So what we're gonna go ahead and do here is to actually look at asa na belongs to 21 units, and 21 units actually fall under 12. So that means to say it is 12 minus 6, right? So 12 minus 6 is actually 6. And then we take a look at kung asa na belong, what ako na move, sorry, asa na belong ang iyang increments level based on the table of computation na siya diri dapita. So 6 to 7. Sorry, wala na ako na move. All right, ari siya nga area. All right. So 6 to 7 is 6. So that's the reason why we're giving it 6 for education. Now for training, all right, for training, we only have 2 valid trainings in here, and that is for the mid-year inset in 2024 and the basic computer skills. Kaya diba, we've agreed that basic computer skills are eligible because it's a basic requirement for a teacher. So meaning having to train in that is actually improving or upgrading your professional development. So that's included. So meaning we have a total of, ang kurang na siguro na wala siya year, no? Pero murag ato na siya consider. So that's 2024, kini, so 40 plus 20, that is 60. And if we take a look at 20, so 60 siya, wapo na ko na move, sorry. Nakatog siguro ko. Hina pa na ako ibuhat. 60, kung 60 siya, na siya na fall sa level 8. Right? So, murag row na akong computation diha kay 40 hours ra. So, ato siyang i-correct. So, share here. Okay. Ana na lang. Okay. So, we'll move it. Diri dapita sa level 8. Alright? And then, ako pa din i-correct diri dapita, no? So, nana siya diha dapita. Alright? And then, so this is 60 hours. So, again, 60 hours is level 8. Level 8 minus 1 because none are requirements. So we have 7. And based on training, increment 7, naa siya na fall diri dapita. Naa siya sa 6. Alright, so meaning 6 points ang iyahang training. Now we move on to the experience. Based on the experience, so certificate of employment for teaching, of course, valid. And then appointment as substitute teacher. Now, last year, we actually don't accept appointment. All right. However, it was clarified by Dr. Ompad nga actually appointment, particularly substitute, kung meaning ano, kung nidawat na siya, iya magiging humanon, no? All right. More than it was considered that appointment for a substitute teacher will be included in the counting. So we have 4 plus 3, that is actually 7 months, right? So kung 7 months siya, we take a look at here. So 7 months actually fall under level 2. So we have 2 minus 1 that is equals to 1. Now, take a look at the experience. Is there a 1 increment? There's none. That's the reason why it's going to be 0. So, kung wa siya maapila sa table, di na siya pwede ipatunga or i-prorate. Dili ta pwede maingon nga, uy, 1 man siya, so 1 ang score, probably kinabilong man siya sa 0 to 1 increment. No. We cannot provide a score that is not within the identified ranges. So we could only provide 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for experience. In no way that we can provide scores na 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So kung unsa rin na sa rubrics for computation, those are the only scores that we could actually provide to our applicants. So given that, so we have, okay. So given that we have 6 plus 6 plus 9, so we actually have a total. Ang sa di submit. Sorry. Wait, this is 88. So this is 88. So 88 divided by, so this is 8.8. So given that we have 6 plus 6 plus 0 plus 8.8, we have 20. Natin 20.8 na score. So ato siya i-change to 20.8. So si Sir Sonfonio Ganhina was actually correct with his computation. Right. So let me just try to maximize this. All right. So I hope that we're able to get the gist as to why the score is 20.80. No? So again, mubalik to Pita, we only took out the 2. All right. And we considered the MAED because it's MAED. Again, for MA, it doesn't have to be aligned with the specialization for as long as it is an MA aligned with the kanang basic, no? Basic nga, or that basic, kanang undergrad nga course. So, or relative to the position. So, Master of Arts in Education is but a masteral degree aligned with education. So, that's the reason why we have to get that included. So, manatang gibuhat de Pita, and we're able to determine the ETER points of Hernan. Okay? So, ingana lang siya ka simple basic. Once you're done, so we're gonna go ahead and plug them in, write them in on the IES sheet, no? I'm not sure kung update ba na siya. So, palulo ko update. So, dapat ma-update na siya. I didn't really have time. So, sakto ang akong actual score. Ay, sayop din ni siya. So, sayop niya siya kay karaan pa nga values. So, mga kabata siya i-plug in ang score. Sige lang kaya ako ni-update. And then, so that ang inyong makuha ng mga nga slides are already updated. So, with this, ang mahitabo is that if the applicant is amenable to all the scores, then let the applicant sign the applicant's form or applicant's field, no, name and signature, and then compile it kay mao na natong i-submit dito sa district office for the next phase of the assessment, which is phase 2. So these are the sources, no? You can go ahead and take a screenshot of the QR code. All right. What you will see there is this is a Google Drive containing the slides of what I'm using. All right. It also contains the Tier 1 guidelines that is within DepEd Order number 7 Series 2023. It also has a copy of the Division Memorandum 52 Series of 2025. And I will upload the recording later. So if you have issues with scanning the QR code, I also have here the link. So you could access this and you'll be redirected to the same Google Drive. And also, I've actually set up, an AI. This is RMS AI. Right now, yung knowledge is only Division Memorandum 052 Series 2025, but I will upload its knowledge with essential information from DepEd Order number 7 Series 2023 so that you can go ahead and visit that. Basically, this is a ChatGPT AI. which is specialized only to answer recruitment and selection question. So you can scan that or you can access the link. So ang imong lang buhaton ana is to go ahead and ask a question. All right? So that matubag ang inyong mga pangutana. Okay. So we have less time for open forum, but let's not end this without allowing you to actually ask questions. So if you have questions now, please write them down on the chat panel, or if you want to go ahead and raise it, please hit the raise a hand button and I will allow you to go ahead and unmute for you to be able to start sharing your concern. All right, so we have a question from Joy Mariel. Ma'am Gina ni. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am.
Nana mo ko'y applicant nangutana na mo, sir, if mo apply siya Albor and Danau, mo duha gihapon ka kuan iya ha mo siya na ni.
Kaya siya ma-apply.
Mo apply gihapon siya online sa other school.
Ako lang i-clarify, ma'am. Is this for the same position? Or
Same lang.
they are not allowed, ma'am, and di na siya pwede na nasa orientation.
So
There's only
one
one entry. Ang pwede lang is, say for example, secondary siya, no? Niya, senior high, o sa junior high, pwede nga ang junior high, ani nga school, ang senior high sa lain nga school, or lain nga district. Mura na siya allowed. Dili pwede na multiple applications sila sa same position on different districts or different schools. Kaya kung masakpan na sila, basin o kanang usa na sa rason, no, nga dili sila madawat kay not following instruction, and mura siya forum shopping, it's not even allowed in courts, no? So how much more in the area of application. So ang dapat niyang buhaton is tanawon asa siya nga district nga taas og chance. Kung feel niya taas ang chance sa inyuha nga district, then adto siya mo submit. Pero feel niya mas taas ang chance sa pikat, adto siya mo submit. That's the only way to go through, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome, ma'am. All right, we have a question from Sir Israelito Cantones. Yes, sir. I'll click on unmute now. For those who are not koan nga dili maka-share, you can go ahead and type your question, no?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Morning, everyone. We have an applicant working abroad right now, sir, and she has the intention of applying for this year. Now, my question is that can we accept her application, or is she qualified, considering that in the processes of the evaluation of documents, we need her physical presence because, for example, in the appreciation of documents, for the signing of the IES, we need her signature, and that is impossible for her to do, considering that she is working abroad.
All right. So that's actually a unique concern, no? So ako ma-reply na, sir, is that for as long as makasubmit siya sa pertinent documents, and probably kay dapat doon na may pirma, so more likely doon na siya special power of attorney kay gi-allow mo na siya, no? So kung maka-provide siya na there's no question on that. Now, relative to the face-to-face nga appreciation of pertinent documents, if your school screening committee would allow an online face-to-face with the Marshall online setup, that's up to you. So it's going to be the prerogative of the school. Should they allow that? But if the school decides nga it's a hassle thing to do it, then you have got to be able to make a decision. That's the reason why if you are deciding on a special case, it is suggested nga you would kind of draft a resolution. Say for example, i-allow ninyo siya. So you can draft a resolution detailing she will be allowed to apply for as long as na siya gi-assign nga special power of attorney to sign on his or her behalf. and that she can do the face-to-face validation online. So depende na siya sa school ranking committee, sir, or school screening committee, if they would allow that. If you will find it tedious to do it, naara ninyo kung di niyo allow, pero if open atong heart or big atong heart to accommodate that, you just have to make sure that you will draft a resolution allowing such special case.
Thank you, sir. One more question, sir, for this, sir.
Yes, sir, sure.
Can we accept e-signature, sir?
For as long as it is an e-signature from the ICT, is it from the ICT katong PNPKI or mura siya kuan lang?
For this case, sir, because it could be that we will send the form to her, and then no, she will send her e-signature here, so that for us easy to for us for easy fast what's this for easy sayon ra para sayon ra mo sa among trabaho, sir, wa.
Para dili po mo hassle, sir, kay murag nahog naman nga kamo ni mag-interact, no? Special power of attorney lang gyud siya.
Sige, sir.
Kung special power of attorney kay anyone nga iyang designate kay pwede man mo perma on her behalf.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. All right. Can we have from Garcia Hernandez 1? Garcia Hernandez 1.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Pwede kusog-kusog ka naman kay hinay kayo.
Mo clarify ako, sir, sa workshop number 3 ba?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Pero nag-chat ko sa NSAR about sa report of that rating.
Ay, one, ma'am, kanang dili maklaro. Asa to, ma'am?
Kanang asam di dapit.
Okay, na klaro na.
According sa documentation din, appreciation of documents need na September 2024.
Mamawa, jug ka. Sorry.
Kanang klaro na, sir?
Oh, kana, klaro.
Kanang naka-remember ko nga niingon nga during the face-to-face appreciation of documents by the SSC, the September 2024 let passers need to present their PRC ID. Then with regards to our workshop, murag wala na siya pangayoe. So sa actual mahitabo, we really need to ask for their PRC ID.
Yes, that's correct.
Clarify lang, sir.
Oo.
So if ever they cannot present,
akong gitagag premise to ganina nga ako ko nga before ko naghatag instruction nga given that nakasubmit siya sa MPRC.
Okay. So sa actual jud, sir, if ever they cannot present their PRC ID, so dili siya pwede.
Yes.
Madikyu siya.
Madikyu siya kay ma-fall siya sa eligibility.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Talibon 2, Sir Karim Dale, sorry. Sir Karim, Talibon 2. Okay.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, pwede ba daw mag-apply for 2 divisions? Cebuan, Bohol. Like,
pwede ra.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Another, sir, for HRMS, sir ba, na yung mga teachers nga na-transfer from one school to another. Possibly katong mga teachers nga na-transfer is mga ICT, also assigned as ICT in another school. So, pwede ma-update to siya, sir, sa district level nga ICT?
Yes, pero next week na, ma'am, kay sa business memo orientation. Teaching them how to do the update.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Right, mo follow up lang no sa question about kung pwede ba ma-apply sa duha ka division. Pwede kayo kay lahi man to nga RQA, no, ang naa sa Cebu. And then even no naibag-ong guidelines karon nga say for example nahuman na ang RQA sa Tagbilaran, right? Nya ganahan po si kanang applicant nga mo apply sa Bohol, she doesn't have to go through the whole process, no? Pwede ra nga mo letter siya sa national letter of intent niya, i-appeal niya ang RQA nga gisend sa division office sa Tagbilaran. And then katong scores niya dito, pwede mo na to scores niya for the RQA in the division of Bohol. Pilar 2.
Hello, sir.
ma'am.
Question. How about ICT-related trainings, sir? Dapat 2020 above ra jud gihapon, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Basta 3
okay.
2020 above regulation. Hangyo na siya, ma'am, kay dapat February gid magsugod, no?
Okay. Sir.
I-appeal na lang dyan na siya kay para ma-cover po.
Sa workshop ganiha, sir, kay kuan man kanang wala year nga naka-indicate.
Oh, pero ningo ko na nga 2020. Nasod to siya. Nakalimot ra.
Sige, sir. Nasayop, sir. Thank you,
Ako lang
sir.
to i-update kay para kung matanaw mo din na mo maglibog. Sige, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Ma'am Mary Grace, Ora.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
We have two queries about the ranking, sir. First is, pwede ba ang secondary mo apply sa elementary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then second query, sir, pwede ba siya duha ang yung applyan, elementary and high school?
Yes, ma'am. So, yes for both questions. So, ang BS Ed graduate can apply elementary. Pwede ka siya ka-apply o kinder for as long as na siya additional ECD units. Ang di ra gyud pwede maka-apply o kanang higher is ang elementary. Ang secondary, maka-apply secondary, junior high, senior high, and then elementary. And then, yes, kaya po itong usa. Pwede ko apply sa, pwede ka na mo-apply ba sa secondary, no? Mo ilang edge, maka-apply sila sa
Secondary
high,
mo apply sa elementary.
Yeah.
Pwede. So, pwede dunganon po, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So, meaning, tulo ka application na yung himuon, one for secondary, one for senior high, one for junior high, one for elementary. If mo na gusto niyo.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Batuan?
Ihilom na ka na.
Batuan? Can we hear from Batuan? Ilina Bigkal nga account?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Oh, good noon, sir.
Good noon, Nandi. Ay, sige.
Wa madungog, sir?
Ay, loud and clear, ma'am. Yes, go ahead.
Sige, thank you, sir. Clarification lang, sir, about sa PRC bitaw, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Kanang namay tauban nga renewal, then dili pa ma-release ang ID. So, makonsidered ba nato tong papel ra bitaw nga ihatag nila?
Ngayon, dili pa man
For claim?
release ang renewal, ma'am. Napamay akong time.
Just in case ba, sir? For clarification lang. Pero, kanan gud sila kanang na ay parenyuhon gud sila, sir. Pero, just in case ba kintahay nga kanang dili pa gyud ma-release ba ang ilahang new PRC katong ID?
Oh, ana na lang
Okay ra, sir?
ang importante ra magyud, ma'am, is that during the assessment kay naabit to iyahang valid PRC. So if this is the case nga naka-file na siya, kato bitong form nga i-print na to online para matutag PRC.
Yes,
so probably pwede niya i-duplicate na or i-photocopy. And then mo na iya i-submit during the submission period, which is starting today up until the 14th. Pero inig ka kuan na face to face, dapat makita na gyud kay imposible pug kaayog mo lapas og 1 month di gyapon ma-release.
Okay, sir. Sige, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Then now, National High School. Sige, last question.
Good morning.
Si John Ray Galendez. Yes, ma'am?
Sige. Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Nami applicant, sir. Niyayang experience is elementary. Niyayang applyan is school. Valid ba yung experience o
Yes,
dili?
okay ra na siya, ma'am. Kay basic education.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Sir John Ray Galendez.
Hello, sir. Ay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Yes, sir. Madonggan ka, sir.
Sir. Garcia Hernandez. Yes, sir. Mr. Llorenza Garcia Hernandez 2, si
Ayan,
John
sir.
Ray Calendez. Actually, na-question ni sa ganina, sir, clarification lang with regard sa applicants nga gustong mo apply, nanghutana magod nga pwede bag mo apply og tulo ka schools. Pero natubag na to kay shopping man o sara, pero clarification, pwede siya maka-apply basta lahi og
Position.
for example, junior high school na pwede pa siya adto sa senior high school.
That's correct. For as long jud nga kuan bitaw iyahang kana bitong na kuan bitaw iyahang residence sir nga basta gana na pa siya ma-apply niya, wa di siya ikapakita ng mga documents nga nakapuyo siya didto kay di ba minimum of 6 months pa ya.
Okay sir.
Yes. Muna siya allowed pwede gani ibutan ta senior secondary ko mo-apply ko junior high school sa Sagbayan, yung ma-apply sa Sagbayan San Agustin, and then akong senior high school kay sa Tubigon, no, nga Tubigon West for example. Pwede na siya for as long as na kapuyo jud ko or doon na jud ko yung document showing that I have been a resident there for at least 6 months. Mora gina siya requirement. Ang di ra gyud allow is that multiple application for the same position. So, elementary, di na siya pwede. Kung elementary ang applyan, naka-apply na siya sa Sagbayan, or naka-apply siya sa Sagbayan Central, di siya pwede ma-apply sa laing barangay, di po siya pwede ma-apply sa lain nga district. Kay makitaan niya po na siya sa system, and there's a possibility nga usa na sa rason nga dili siya ma-actually consider. Alright, so, actually, it's already time. I know nga napatang
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir. So, I know nga napatay question, no? It's just that wala na tay time.
Note.
Mahitabo ani is I'll be sharing a link to the district ICT coordinators, a link to the group chat, so that the members of the school screening committee will be able to actually join. Kay para if they still have questions nga dili kay klaro, grade out, then they can go ahead and ask the questions. And adto na lang ko motubag dito for those questions. So thank you all so much for participating. That actually ends my presentation. But before we close, Ma'am Odette, do you have any message, ma'am? All right, Murag, wala na si Mudit. All right, so this is me saying thank you so much for participating. I hope that we're able to kind of clear out gray areas relative to the recruitment and selection. Again, I'll be sending out a link to the group chat of district ICT coordinators, the link to the group chat, so that you could freely participate in there and ask questions from there as well. So this has been Fernando Ened, thanking you for the participation and wishing you good luck for the next phases of the recruitment and selection process for DepEd Bohol RSP. Thank you all so much. Have a great lunch, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Unmute na na, i-unmute mo na. Madunggan tawag. Hindi ka na